Hi, my name is CC Neverender, and I'm a speedrunner for Command & Conquer General's Zero Hour. I thought I'd make a couple guides, so anyone new wants to join, they don't have to try and figure out how this game works. We can just sort of jump right in. So, a couple things before we get started. This game, or we usually time this game by in-game time, or by without loads, I should say. So that means that there's no need to have there's no need to time the loading screens or the cutscenes. It all starts from as soon as the cursor first appears, essentially the first frame where your HUD also appears on the bottom, and it ends at the first frame where you see the "You are victorious" screen. So those are the timings per level, as well as the full campaign. So I usually do RTA timing and then just do the other ones later. But anyways, that's how that works. Let's go ahead and look at the USA campaign. Here I have all of the missions without an opening cutscene, I think. I have 4 and 5 up here, and then I don't have USA 2. Okay. Well, that's why. Okay. So, let's go ahead and jump in. USA 1 open cutscene. Jump right in. So, boom. As soon as the game finishes loading, this is what you're faced with. Actually, okay, you can't do that. So, some things to notice. Immediately, the objective is all the way over in this side of the map. The top left here, you have to get to that train station and clear everybody out. You also have some tanks and stuff. You have some Humvees, which are really important. The Humvees do not have their upgrade. That is also really important. Do keep that in mind. You also have a couple of missile launcher guys here. So usually, as soon as I get started, what I like to do is I just put all these dudes in their things and buy the upgrade. From here, we essentially are we're honestly ready to go, to move out. So from here, usually I end up buying a couple of Humvees. You won't actually get all of those. You can double tap Q to select all units that you own, and just move with the A click. Makes for attack move, which means they'll attack all the units. Make those two. So something that you might want to do is that if you select the units, you can double tap E to select all of the same units. What I do is I select a Humvee and then select all Humvees, and I make them a separate group because they're going to be splitting off from the rest of the group. They're also your most important units at the very beginning part here. Those missile guys in that Humvee are phenomenal. They do a lot of work for you, so don't lose those. Back into that. So if they're getting attacked by the stinger sites here, you really got to move them back. So like, just make sure that they're not the ones being targeted. Also, I should note that over in this section, right here, there are Chinese units. There's 2 battle masters, an overlord, a dragon tank, and a Gatling cannon, if I'm not mistaken. It's not faster or really slower to do it that way. I've gotten pretty good times with both, because the time sacrificed to go over there and attain the units is about the same amount of time you save by using the units in the final section. So it's your choice. Like what I did is I would select all of the Rangers and put them in one Humvee, and then send that Humvee straight through straight through this area here, without worrying about the stinger site. Putting him over here, evacuating, then putting him back in the fray. then put in the other missile launchers in the other one, and that one solo Humvee becomes like your damage dealer. And then the Rangers, you have 5 of them, you have 5 units, so you can go ahead and do that. But again, it's not much faster, so I don't really do that. We're going to go ahead and do this. Be careful, there are suicide bombers here. Everyone's going to go here. We're going to put the Humvees down the bottom. Everyone else is going to move up through the top here. You guys are going to there. These guys are off to the side. Pull you guys all the way over to the left here. Well, they're moving. The scripting won't let them attack you. Get rid of those guys. Focus on him. Sometimes I build the battle drones. Just so these guys get healed and they don't actually die. And we're going to go ahead and make sure we get rid of this thing. Make sure we clear out this. As soon as we're ready, we're all set. Or as soon as we kill everything, we're all set. Go ahead and pull the Rangers away, because you don't want the Rangers. Because they're not that good. And at this point, we can start dumping people on the train. So, you might not have enough units. Like, see what we're doing here? I'm putting all the missile launchers in this one Humvee here. But that means I'm not going to have enough units to actually fill up thing. So instead of waiting for all these guys to get there or whatever, sometimes it's just not okay to do that. So you got to take them out and then put them in, and then that's like 6 more slots that you can fill up, and then you can have 1 or 2 more slots for that. If you're fast enough and you get this with a waypoint, you can usually get a couple more Humvees. I wasn't paying attention, I wasn't setting that up, but you can set that as control 1, and then in the middle of the fight, set the waypoint, or before you really start fighting, set the waypoint. Because you do have vision in that section, so you can set the waypoint over there. Yeah. So this next part here, it's kind of hard to do really fast, but here's the gist of it is, we have this stinger site, there's this tunnel network, there is the barracks here, the command center, and then just a little bit further down to the right over this way is another tunnel network. Something that we figured out is that if you put units inside of this comm tower, the A-10, I forgot what they're called, but the planes that come in, they shoot the missiles and then they fly away. The superpower, or the general power, they'll come in and they'll blow up both of the stinger sites. So you kind of have to be careful, because the stinger sites do a lot of damage to your dudes. So you don't want to let them just sit there. So if you can quickly move units to that, it's beneficial, because you can focus all your other enemies, or all your other units, on blowing stuff up, and you won't lose any of them. But if you can't comfortably get to the that tower fast enough, just blow everybody up. That's my strategy. So move up. We're gonna have him. Guys are gonna move there. Meantime, we're gonna pull one of him out, have him jump in the building.
Unit lost.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the... you guys need to come over here. See, that was actually a very poor execution. Because now all my dudes are dead and I wasn't paying attention. But it's still okay, we still have a rocket Humvee, so... Go ahead and blow all these dudes up. In order for you to progress to the actual end of the mission, you do have to blow up all these places, all these buildings here. I mean, it does include the tunnel networks. That is not true for every mission. It is true for this mission in particular. That includes the GLA hall. As soon as you finish that, final cutscene starts, and timing ends at the "You are victorious." Go ahead and skip that though. So let's talk about USA 2. USA 2 is it's an auto-scroller mission. There's not much you can really do. But just a couple things. The reason that it is an auto-scroller is that we can complete the final part of the mission before we can complete the first part of the mission, which means we have to wait for the first part of the mission to finish triggering, and then we can end the mission. So in this mission here, we have a whole bunch of GLA, like a big base in the northeast corner of the base or the map. And it's a pretty large and intimidating base. However, they gave us infinite raptors, and they also gave us like the Chinese artillery strikes, just like unlimited of them. So it's pretty hard to mess it up, honestly. You don't have to use any of your units if you don't want to. I'll do it just because I'm bored. So I usually wait for the cannons to start to finish being ready. There's no hotkey for it that I'm aware of, unless can I select this one? I can. But does that have a hotkey? I don't think it does. If I can get rid of this. No, there's no bombardment hotkey, which is really annoying. Which means I'd like to have this right here so I can go pow, 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 pow really quickly. These are the only units that are going to come attack your base, so go ahead and just blow them up. I usually like to focus the Marauder tank really quickly. They're all going to move forward here in a second as soon as it lands. So I like to usually lead it just a little bit, and I missed one of those. That's okay. They're going to come over and attack me now that I've instigated them. Let's go ahead and meet them while we're out here. Go ahead and beat them up. I got plenty of time, so I don't have to worry about the auto-scrollery part. But anyways, so we have this giant base up here. Let's go ahead and get these dudes to come out. I'm gonna fly up. You can set them to attack move, and they'll pretty much destroy anything that comes in their way. They're not really smart all the time, so they don't blow everything up perfectly fine. So I like to use some bombardments to actually help them out along the way. It's not necessary, they will blow it all up eventually. They're just kind of slow at it. So now that they're here, there's this big base that's going to extend a bit further up. Again, if you just set attack move to the top right corner here, they'll blow up all this stuff first, and then you can set them to defend over here and they'll blow that up too. So that's the majority of the mission. The other thing is that they don't really tell you, but there's a single barracks all the way up here in the top left corner, and you do have to clear that out in order to complete the mission. So what I like to do is I like to send my all my dudes that I have available that are not the planes to move up over here. All the way up here in the corner, we have ourselves a barracks. Technically, if you wanted to, your rangers do have capture building, so you could capture the building and then build your own units, but that's not necessary. I did that for a while, and I just set up a bunch of defenses because a couple of like motorbike turrets, or not, the motorcycle. What do you call them? I should know that. Combat cycles. Combat cycles will come. These guys here, they'll go fight you after a certain amount of time. But again, it's not a crucial thing to have, so you can ignore it. Yeah, see, blew up a couple of them. They're gonna head out. Yep. So just have Colonel Burton around, and he'll blow it all up. Problems. It wouldn't be a bad idea to put some missile launcher dudes in one of these tents, because if you're not paying attention, after you blow up this base, some of the workers will go back and try to build another barracks, and you don't want that to happen. So blow this up.
Unit lost.
And that out. I still haven't blown that up yet. Notice in the bottom we have supply truck 6 of 7 coming. The thing that we have to wait for as part of the auto-scroller is
Unit lost.
is all these supply trucks.
Preparing jets for takeoff.
I see how they're trying to build that. Blow that up.
Reinforcements incoming, General.
So yeah, these are all the supply trucks. They send them over one by one over the little ship here, or over the channel, I should say. And these guys will go hang out. This is like an 8-minute mission, which is dumb, but it is what it is. Did I miss some units over here? Oh, all these guys. Pretty sure. Hang on, that's not all of them. I don't know if you have to kill all of the base defenses, because they got a couple of them. Not too many, but they do have a couple. I usually just blow them all up while I have time. There's nothing else to do, so I might as well. We got everybody.
Incoming, General.
So now at this point, we just have to wait for the 10th vehicle to arrive, but then one of them will go ahead and start moving up along this path here, and over the bridge, and then directly here, and that'll end the mission. At this point, we really don't have to do anything else. We're just going to wait. But I'm not going to, because I don't feel like waiting for another 3 minutes for all that stuff to happen. You get the idea. Yeah. We're on to USA 3. Let's see, where is no open cutscene? Don't think I have that. Because I am bad at this game. You can see the glorious cutscene, which is USA 3. It didn't even count for the wider than 4x3 aspect, so that parallax scrolling that goes on is literally just like 3 layers that are all at different height levels. See, it looks a bit better here, but it's still doesn't account for the edges here. Yeah, by the way, we played this game in widescreen mode. I should have mentioned that. I play it in widescreen mode because you can adjust the aspect ratio and the resolution to a custom resolution, and I set mine to be a 16:9, which it still accepts. So yeah, this one's kind of annoying because there are a couple of cutscenes in the middle of it, so it's a very extensive mission just with cutscenes. But on the easy difficulty, it's actually pretty easy. So we start off with a couple of dudes. You want to hit select all units until Colonel Burton is available. That's when he can actually move. For some reason, he can't move for the first couple seconds here. I usually have all units attack move, so we get rid of these guys. And we got this paper mache tank here, which dies to, like, you know, absolutely anything. And right where these roads meet is where you want to move everyone. Because right here is where you're in range to start the next cutscene whenever it's time. So, now that everyone's here, we're going to start the next cutscene. So this mission is pretty easy because you literally just have to get Colonel Burton to the end of the map. And because he's invisible, you can pretty much just sneak right past everybody. Not to mention he has terrain climbing abilities, which makes him just go anywhere. So we're going to use that to our advantage to just abandon all of our units and just climb over the walls and get straight to the end of the mission. Makes things super easy. In the meantime, we're going to move everybody up. I'm going to move you guys up to here, and I'm going to have all of you guys attack move here. Meantime, Colonel Burton, I'm going to select him as number 1. He's going to finish off this tunnel network. So he's going to destroy that. These guys are going to chill up here. Kill everything, and then, oops, sorry, double hit Q. Everyone's going to blow up this, this turret here. You guys need to move forward and actually attack that. Appreciate it. And whenever it changes, for some reason, Colonel Burton stops attacking. So as soon as we blow that up, these units here will spawn out of the little POW camp huts. So at this point, we can go ahead and just grab him, grab Colonel Burton. We want to move him over into this little corner here, because if he's over here, you say move here, he will sometimes go the long way around, but you want him to go directly over the mountain. So sometimes being right here doesn't work, but usually you just kind of click around and see that he's walking away, you just click back in. He comes right over the top. In the meantime, you want to go right about here. There is a tunnel network here, and that tunnel network will expose Colonel Burton. We don't want him to die, so we don't want him to put him down here. We want to put him down on this side right here. And then he can walk straight across. Don't try to cross this area, because once you get a little bit too close past that area, he's gonna get spotted. So don't get like right up here. Try to go right around this side. Come down here by the oil derricks. At this point, we can literally just go straight over here. We do have to do this part of the mission because the map won't let you go any further than like right here. So we do have to do that part in order to unlock the rest of this. If anyone was wondering. Now, the way to complete this mission is essentially get Colonel Burton to touch this mountain here. He can touch the base of the mountain at literally any point. And one thing to keep in mind is that if he gets too close, or if he doesn't blow up these defenses, whenever the cutscene activates, Colonel Burton is still in the position he last was, and if he's right next to a defense, he will just be constantly attacked until he dies. If he dies before a certain part of the cutscene, or before it transitions from one to the next cutscene, you will fail the mission. Even during the victory part, you will get a "you are defeated" thing. So he cannot die. So the easiest way to do that is to blow up this GLA hole, and because where he's standing at the base of the GLA hole, he's just outside of range of that turret right there, or the the tunnel network. So whenever the cutscene transitions, he's still out of sight of the tunnel network. At least that's my understanding of it. So essentially, you get him to come right up here to the side, as far away from the tunnel network as possible. Boom. He was in the last position where he started, so he's out of range. And this is the part where you can still lose the mission. Right now is if you have not failed, or you haven't heard the music for failing, at this point, you're good. And so at this point, there's a little cutscene where the mountain comes down and blows up the lab. That is the final cutscene for that mission. Go ahead and skip that. USA 4, an opening cutscene. So USA 4, there's a couple of different strategies. There's a super risky strategy, and there is a super risky strategy, and then there's the slower but safer strategy. I've switched to using the risky strategy now, just because if you play your cards right, it's like 5 minutes faster. It's a really big time save. For just those people starting out, you can do the not so risky strat. Essentially, for the not so risky strat, you would capture these oil derricks here. Hang on, let's get over here. There's oil decks here and on the left side as well. You start building your base. You get build war factories, and you build barracks, and you just get tanks and stuff built. You send all of your units as soon as possible. As soon as you finish capturing the oil derricks, get your units as soon as possible and just move them up north. Go straight for the radio tower that's the northeast side, and get rid of that as soon as possible. Because if you get there fast enough, you can essentially blow up the radio tower before the terrorists start to make their attacks. So that essentially means that you won't lose anybody, and it's pretty safe for the most part. And then after that, you essentially accumulate your forces for a few minutes, and then you attack from the eastern side and go into the base that way. The not so safe strat. What we're going to do is we're going to get a supply depot, And that's it.
General, your ultimate objective is to destroy the GLA base in this area. Your main source of funding will be the oil derricks. You must secure
Come on
and
now,
protect
get two of
them.
them. Head over there. We're gonna get him. Just get all that. You guys can move up. Him, supply depot. And that's pretty much all we need. I do, however, want to build a war factory just because I have the money to do so. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't. Here. Oh wait, I already built this too. Chill. Meantime, built that. So I think you just need 3, but I built 4 just in case. You can let them do their deal with the supplies, but what you really want is that once these guys are ready, we're gonna go ahead and start putting them inside of these Humvees here.
The GLA has started using booby traps on structures in this area. They will explode if you try to capture or garrison them.
That in
Use
there.
dozers to remove them.
Alright, now once everybody is ready here in the in there. Jerk. Alright. All of you guys select all, then have them stop whatever they're doing with S. Just everybody stop. Pay attention to me.
General, the local town is being poisoned by GLA
Alright.
propaganda and
Now we're gonna have these guys come in,
destroy the GLA
and
radio
everybody
station to
go ahead and
the
start
uprising.
jumping in these, in the Chinooks. I would say leave the Avenger out. You don't really need him. Go ahead and do this. I like to move him over to the left side.
General, there are several artillery platforms in the area. Capture them for suppression fire.
And move them up to here, to this platform, and then we're going to move everybody up to this upper northwest position. Right up here. Okay, so here's kind of where the mission gets tricky. We're going to make a quick save file, say for backup. Can't use this in a run. We can only use this for testing purposes now. Save that game. And we're going to have everyone evacuate as soon as possible. So essentially, to my understanding, I could be wrong, but I think I know how this game works. So the outer layer of defenses is like a kind of like a semicircle, and it blocks the this bottom half of the area. And the AI is set up so that the base is essentially inactive, where all the AI is turned off and nothing really moves around, except for like really basic defense functions. And the way that it starts, like the way that it turns on and becomes an active attacker, is whenever you approach the base defenses with ground units. Because you can't build, or you can't really attack them, essentially it's just going to ignore you. So if you send those Chinooks over, they'll shoot missiles at you, but they essentially won't be actively attacking you, and they won't be changing their trigger to be active. That makes sense. I could have said just a bunch of words and I don't know if they made sense. But hopefully they made sense, where if you approach that line, the base turns on, essentially. So what we do is we don't approach that line.
Unit lost.
And by doing so, we just kind of stay in the very back
Please
here.
build more defenses to protect against the car bombers.
Also, those car bombs are going to come blow us up, but we're just not going to with them. Boom. Blew up everything. At this point, get over here.
Unit lost.
We're going to send all the dudes with units over here. This way too. So essentially these 3. You need to go this way. Okay. So normally you would do that a bit faster, but essentially we have two key proponents in this. besides this quad cannon, there's nothing that's going to attack you in this base if you stay a far enough distance away. So we're going to send these guys, who are pretty much just our generic fighters. We have Humvees with the missile launchers and some tanks. They're not going to do much, but they're going to do enough sufficient damage to actually blow up these two buildings right here. Just these two right here. That's the palace and that the arms dealer. We're going to send these three to go behind this little tower here, behind this radar van, and right over to here, and that's where they're going to be able to fight these three buildings here. And once they're done with that, everyone will kind of converge in the middle, at which point it doesn't really matter what we do, and we'll just blow up these two. And whenever we do that, we're going to activate this tunnel network, and it's going to pour out, or out of it is going to pour like 8 like just scorpion tanks and marauder tanks and quad cannons and just hell. Hell is going to come out of there. They have so much firepower hidden in that tunnel network, where if you approach them, you are dead. So that is why this is risky, because you have to be able to judge how you're doing. So we're going to go ahead, blow these up. You guys are going to come over here. Something you have to be, good at is micromanagement, because you have to make sure that your units are not approaching this tunnel network. You need to put them right here, and some of them are going to try and go that way. Like some of them are going to try and get an angle on this side. Don't let them do it. All right. Just watch them. You don't have to watch them, obviously, but you want to be very careful. You guys are going to come back around the side. Just start blowing stuff up. Nope. That's what's going to happen. They're going to try and go around this side, and that's going to activate the thing. So we can't have that. So you have to be super careful. In the meantime, everyone else is all set. You're going to blow that up. Goes up, and then you guys are going to come over. So, like as soon as we get near that, this hellish, this set of people break out, and we can't have that. But luckily, we have enough firepower. We can blow this thing up pretty quickly, and by doing that, we end the mission. That was obviously a very slow and deliberate way of doing the mission, but the way to do it fast is to just trust. That's the thing that makes it really risky, is that it just is risky because you will probably lose something. Hang on. Okay. So yeah, that's the risky part of this strategy, is that if you mess that up and you don't have a backup save, it's like run over. And you got to be real careful with that. But overall, that mission isn't too bad once you know like what you're looking for, and you're paying attention to your units and making sure that nobody goes too close. It's not that bad. Now, mission 5, there's a lot that's going to happen very quickly. But to basically explain the mission, you have 4 missile silos that you have to capture with rangers, or your basic dudes. So the way it works is that we are going to use Chinooks to drop off units at two of the missile silos, and then we're going to use the GLA general power to use Rebel Surprise on a different set. On the other 2, I should say. And yeah, it can be a little risky. But for the most part, if you follow these guides, or this guide, it's not too bad. Go ahead and let's jump into mission 5. So immediately we have these 3 Humvees. We're going to send these guys to the right side here, this area right here on the map, as the GLA base, and we're going to go ahead and just discover that. We're going to put a power plant down. We're going to need a barracks. In the meantime, we also need to get this spy drone, and we're going to need that for a little bit. We need vision as quickly as possible on the west set. They're pretty much in the northeast corner, but there's one a little bit to the west and one a little bit more to the east. The two missile silos, or the two sets of missile silos, and so we need to have vision on them on the west ones as soon as possible. The way I do that is I line it up on this dirt road right here, and then you just push up on your keypad till it gets all the way up here. And notice how there is there's like a mountain right here. We want to do it right at the base of the mountain there. And then this is the missile silo region. I'm going to go ahead and drop. I like to put it at this little crossroads right there. That's a pretty good place to put it right here because you'll have vision of this entire area. It won't get spotted and you'll be able to see all the important parts. Let's get back to this. So we should probably make this a thing because we need to be able to drop that. So I make it at 0. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this anthrax bomb right there. Oops. So we dropped the anthrax bomb because there are a whole bunch of units here, namely the quad cannon, the scorpion, these dudes over here, just a lot of dudes in this area where we're going to clear everybody out. By dropping that by dropping the bomb, we clear a lot of the units out. Makes it easy so that whenever we drop in our rebel surprise, that there's really nothing that they can do to stop us. Because they're just rebels, and if those rebels die, we're essentially screwed. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to build a whole bunch of technicals. Our technical boys are going to come up. We're all going to move up top. I'm going to build spy dudes for that. I'm going to go ahead and build 8. That. I'm going to be super cautious. I'm going to build a... I apologize for all the bolted down and readies. So what's going to happen is that they're going to send down a small group of dudes to attack your base. If you build that Patriot missile system, you'll be able to fend them off for the most part. If you don't build it, they will destroy your base because they actually have like a pretty decent set. You can't just defend with because they have toxin tractors, so you really have to be careful. Otherwise, they will destroy all of your ground or your infantry units. So you got to be careful with that. We need to build a supply depot or supply depot so that we can get Chinooks, so we can drop people off. But for the most part, we are okay. If you don't want to waste time by building the capture upgrade on this one, you do have another barracks that you can build a capture upgrade on. I would suggest using this one because it's faster and you don't run the risk of accidentally screwing yourself out of being able to use capture building. In the meantime, we're going to have all of our dudes just run all the way up to the top. We're going to have these guys come in. The reason that we have these spy satellites is because there are a ton of what do you call them? There are a ton of these mines here. There's a couple ways to deal with these mines. The way I like to do it sometimes is just ignore all units. We don't like these dudes. They're lazy bums. Let's get him out of the way. And what we do is we run straight past those two and we sacrifice him. In the same way, if we have another dude who just runs straight through this little gap here, he's going to blow up like 3 of them, run straight over here, blow up the last one, and we're all set. All of the main mines have been destroyed. We don't need those anymore. And they blew that up. Awesome. Here, I'm going to need to build another one. You guys do that. You 4 come over here. And this is what I meant where they're going to attack your base, so you got to be careful. Stop.
Congratulations, General.
Okay, cool. You guys here. I'm gonna make you guys 2. So while all these things have been happening, we have moved. Let's do a recap here. We got vision. We put a bomb down. In the meantime, we got all of our units from the GLA base, and we moved them up to the up to this little GLA outcropping where the easternmost silos are. So we still don't have rangers at the silos. That's what we need to do next. Now that the poison has disappeared from the bomb that we dropped, we can go ahead and we can drop the rebel surprise in. In the meantime, we have already gotten rid of all the things standing in our way at the eastern side, so we're going to go ahead and use our Chinooks to move those guys up there. And then we'll use 0. We'll drop our rebel surprise here. Make sure we kill all the units that are going to stop us. Like these missile dudes, they have toxin, so they're going to be annoying. Give them a second. In the meantime, our dudes here are coming in.
Low power. Unit lost.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that. Go ahead and evacuate. These guys are going to be immediately ready to capture stuff, so go ahead and start selecting them. In the meantime, our rebels are officially ready. Go ahead and have them capture it, and there shouldn't be anything stopping us from winning this mission. These guys are going to do that. Interestingly, there's actually toxin units that are chilling right here, but on easy difficulty, they don't have any AI, or at least they're not triggered by this strategy. So by that strategy, they won't be activated, so you don't have to worry about them, which is the really beautiful part of that. But yeah, we just completed the USA campaign. This tutorial is only 40 minutes long, and that's about as long as the actual campaign is. Well, actually, the campaign is about 30 minutes if you're good. But yeah, hopefully this guide was useful to you. If you have any questions, there are forums on the speedrun.com page. You are welcome to tweet at me or whisper me on Twitch or whatever. Get in contact with me. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. But this has been the USA campaign. I hope that any of you out there who like this game will play it, because the only bad mission in this one is mission 2, and it's not even that bad. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you guys on the leaderboards.